I have equipment that is used at more than one process step. I don't want to build a model for each step. Is there a way to build a composite model of all the uses?
Many situations exist within a manufacturing environment where a piece of equipment is used for multiple process steps or products. TooCool has a process recipe function to generate a weighted average of the inputs and automatically insert the values in the appropriate input cells of the complete model. By selecting Process Recipe under the Input menu, the user will be presented with two options: Define Recipes and Process Recipe Input. The Define Recipes window allows the user to define the new process recipe name, copy an existing recipe, and enter the percent use for each recipe. The percent use does not need to add up to 100%, as TooCool will scale to whatever has been entered. You may have noticed buttons at the bottom of the forms we looked at previously. They all function the same way, with the Export button sending data to Excel, where it can be modified outside of TooCool. The View button, which allows a previously exported form to be viewed. And the Import button, which will bring back any data that has been modified in the spreadsheet. The Process Recipe Input window provides for the input of throughput at capacity, equipment yield, defect density if you were in the wafer fab mode, fault probability also if you were in the wafer fab mode, parametric limited yield loss, value of incoming unit, and value of completed unit. Additionally, inputs are allowed for all the supplies and consumables. The list of supplies and consumables is taken from the main model and is not editable in the Process Recipe Input window. The user must first list all the supplies and consumables in the main model that will be used in each of the recipes. No consumption needs to be included in the main model, as this will be handled in each process recipe. For any specific data point to be used in a recipe, the user must check the Use Recipe box. The Use Recipe checkbox is a global variable. If that data is used in any recipe, the Use Recipe box must be checked and left checked in all recipes. Unchecking the box in any recipe will turn it off for all recipes. TooCool will leave the main model value unmodified for any data where the Use Recipe box is unchecked. For supplies and consumables that are used in some recipes but not all, for those recipes not using the item, use the Use Method drop-down box to select Not Used. Time, unit of production, and lot-based inputs can be mixed within and between recipes. However, all entries will be converted to time-based when sent to the main model. If you make a change to any of the data in a recipe, those changes can be undone by clicking the Undo button. However, if you select a different recipe before clicking Undo, TooCool will treat that move as the equivalent of clicking Update, and the process recipe results will be moved to the main model. To move to the next, previous, or any other process recipe, select the recipe name from the drop-down box at the top of the Process Recipe Input window, or use the navigation arrows to the right of the recipe name. That is all it takes to create a weighted average of multiple uses of any equipment group. Using the process recipe capabilities of TooCool can add breadth to your mastery of cost of ownership.